Hey Elias, how's it going?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's your day been?
Day's been good. Busy, but busy's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, first of all. And you've got a couple of big things coming up, a big fight at UFC Liverpool, and you're making your second Ring Boy appearance for Invicta on Friday. How excited are you to get to make the walk around the octagon again?
No, very excited. Obviously, last time it was at Salt Lake City, making history in regards to being Invicta's first ring boy, and excited to reprise my role this Friday for Kansas City. So, not quite a vet yet, but obviously feeling more comfortable and excited to see the Invicta team. One of the amazing things, obviously, being a part of a great night of fights is one thing, and there's an amazing team in Invicta, and they were very, very welcoming. So excited for this Friday and beyond.
So you said you were a little nervous doing it the first time around, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like? Was it worse than you thought in terms of nerves and stuff, or better than you thought? Than you thought? Like, what's your overall thoughts after the experience?
You know what? It was fun. A little nerve wracking because obviously I'm stepping out of my comfort zone in a non traditional way. But a part of the thing I'm trying to do is start a conversation and get other people a little more uncomfortable because the majority of the people that I communicate and in the MMA sphere have been positive, but there are some negative feedback and trying to change your mind one day at a time and one ring boy appearance at a time. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, and most importantly, I'm now having more and more fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because yeah, you did receive a bit of criticism, but you were probably expecting that. So would you say it was worse than you thought, or not as bad as you thought?
Not as bad as I thought it could have been. For the most part, everyone, I'd say 70-30. And especially when you're talking about Twitter, how vile that can sometimes be. No, there are definitely some people that, creeped into my DMs and said some misogynistic or homophobic or, um, any type of disrespectful things. But I'm a big boy. I can take it, and I'm doing me and having a blast doing it. So obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but not their own facts. It was a great fun event, and so much so that Invicta's asking me to come back and do it again.
Awesome. And yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How does it work? Did you sign a contract in terms of the number of events you'll be doing for Invicta, or how does this work?
Well, they've Shannon Knapp, obviously the president of Invicta, and I have been in direct conversation. There's not specific dates. Well, there might be specific dates, but they're not announced dates in the next little bit. So I potentially have 3, 4 more Invicta debuts, or not debuts, Invicta showings in the next couple months. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. And in a more positive light, have you had a lot of like people message you, or maybe people that want to do the same kind of thing? Have you had some of that as well?
Yeah, no, there actually have been quite a bit. I think that's where some of the negative aspect comes out in people's own insecurity or desire to do it themselves. And obviously, always down to have conversations with the positive people, and really excited that to see that some people have communicated with me that this has actually encouraged them to get back into shape to try and do that. So my actual overall goal is actually after this Invicta event and after my next fight to actually put together a calendar because I actually own the trademark for Ring Boy.
Awesome.
So the game plan is to have a Ring Boys of MMA calendar, and who wouldn't love to see a Derek Lewis for Mr. July?
Absolutely. Nice, nice. And you're trying to convey an important message, right? I mean, gender equality. Brittany Palmer even showed her support. Did you see that?
No, I did not. Truly appreciate it. Especially, one of the goats ever in ring card holding. So no, truly, appreciate her kind words. I haven't heard them yet, but I will definitely Google them afterwards. But to your original point, yes, I'm trying to start a conversation that in the true pursuit of equality, the answer is more, not less. And doing that in a way that kind of allows me to step out of my boundaries and comfort zone, but also starts a conversations with others. So looking forward to continue doing that.
Awesome. And now that you've gone through it once, is there something different that you do in terms of maybe preparation or just anything at all when you're coming to do it the second time around?
No, I think I'll just feel more and more comfortable. Like I mentioned, I'm really excited to see everyone from the Invicta team, and great card from top to bottom that I'm excited to have the best seats in the house, obviously. So nothing different, just, it ain't broke, so keep doing it. And just looking forward to sharing it with everyone along the way.
Definitely, and not to keep talking about the negative parts of it, but there were a little bit of comments, some people saying that you may have stolen the show the first time round. I mean, do you think this is just them being negative overall? Because it's not entirely a bad thing, right, if you get more people to watch the fights?
Yeah, no, I think that's what part of the first debut was all about, getting attention and bringing eyeballs. I know for a fact there were people that came specifically to the Salt Lake City event to meet me and get a signature, a photo, etc., etc. But they ultimately came for the fights, and that is. At the end of the day, the true stars are the competitors, the powerful females that are gonna compete on mixed martial arts, the female mixed martial arts highest stage in regards to Invicta. And I'm not looking to distract. I'm looking to add. And going back to the original point, I think the first one, it did have a little bit of that shock factor in regards to something different. But as it becomes more and more of a routine, looking forward to just add, not subtract, for any of the great nights at Invicta.
Awesome. And last time you wore the shorts with the gilet, no shirt underneath. Will it be the same outfit this time around?
Ditching the vest this time around, especially because of the way I put my hands up. I think we talked it over. It makes more sense for me to just be how I fight, and that will be just in shorts. So I think part of it was, testing the waters, dipping our toe into it, and the feedback was great, and people just thought that it would made more sense if I was to, ditch the shirt in some ways and kind of make it a little more even in regards to my female counterparts, who the ring card holders that I'll be doing it with. So this time around, no shirt, just pants or just shorts.
Very cool. Well, so let's talk about your upcoming fight now. You're taking on Trevor Hot Sauce Smith in Liverpool, first time competing in Europe. Darren Till's promising that the crowd will be even louder than the Irish one, so how excited are you to get to compete there?
No, definitely excited, and obviously pumped that I won't be fighting a local, and being part of the Commonwealth from Canada. I'm technically part of the same team, so looking for them hopefully to boo the American, not the Canadian.
Absolutely. And are you planning on staying there a bit longer for like sightseeing and stuff? You did that in Australia, right?
Yep, my girlfriend and I, we always take advantage of all the fun stuff, the sights and all that jazz. And this time will be no different. Got 2 one-way tickets, and we're going to stay a couple more days in London, then go to Paris, Amsterdam, and I believe Belgium is kind of the game plan as well. So 3 or 4 countries is what the thought process is, but more importantly, kind of have an open ticket and just going to explore.
Amazing. That's the way it should be. That's, in my opinion, you might as well if you're making the trip down. Is this your first time around Europe?
No. We went last year, I believe, to, I've been to England before on my way to UFC Belfast. And then I ended up, I've been to Greece quite a few times, obviously, being of Greek heritage. And, a bunch of places in between. We usually do layovers in other places every single time. So, like, I went to Sweden. Swiss. I went to Switzerland. That's it, for a couple of days, and a bunch of other places in between in Europe.
Cool. And Liverpool, the football team or the soccer team, made it to the finals, so it's going to be a pretty crazy weekend. I mean, it may be a little wild on the streets. Were you planning on watching the game?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll watch the game from the safety of my hotel. But I'm really pumped about the atmosphere. It's really cool that it kind of worked out that way.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on your upcoming matchup with Trevor Smith? How would you break down his skill set?
He's a tough individual. I think in many ways he's obviously a D1 wrestler or D2 wrestler. I can't remember. But, I think he's very set in his ways in regards to how his game plan is to win. But I think in regards to whom he's fought, and who he's beaten the last little bit, I think obviously I would be the odds-on favorite. For me, it's all about imposing my will and doing what I've done really well in regards to my fighter IQ and my ability to kind of, do me and not let my opponent kind of figure out what to do next and just capitalize on it. I'm looking to finish this fight in the second or third round.
Cool. And you're 6-2 in the UFC. You've had some really solid wins in the middleweight division. Where do you feel like a win over Smith would put you in the division?
Knocking on the top 15, at least in regards to competition. Obviously, a huge part of this is, who's available. And, I'm not fighting a top 15 guy partly because of that in regards to, Trevor Smith is a still tough individual. He's still there to try and knock my block off. And I'm going to fight the person that they put in front of me. So, a lot of this has to do with who's available. So, whether it's like the Brad Tavares versus Israel fight, or a bunch of other people on the radar, I've made the top 15 before, and I'm looking to get back in there. Most importantly, going to get the win in dominating fashion. Just before my 30th birthday. And that's still 5 years away from the median age in my weight class. So I got basically 5 more years to become, the best Elias I can be to kind of equal where all my other competition is for the most part.
Cool. And before I let you go, you've been quite busy outside of the octagon. Tell me a little bit about your ventures. You're filming a movie as well, correct?
Yep, it's called Last Hit. We have an Indiegogo. It's called Last Hit the Movie on Indiegogo, and I play an MMA fighter, huge stretch, and I get injured, and I reinvent myself with competitive video games, and it has a larger conversation in regards to what does someone do after athletics, and whether it's 10 years after you become professional, or in a sudden way like my character deals with. You have to reinvent yourself, and there's going to be some parallels in regards to what I did as a professional fighter and then a professional fight gamer. So really excited to show in a fun, uplifting, and funny way, because it is a comedy after all.
Oh, nice. And when's the movie come out?
We film end of October.
Okay.
So there's a big, like I mentioned, it's an esports game. So I'll be, there's a big national Canadian esports cup that takes place in October. So we film that there, and it should be coming out in spring 2019.
Awesome. And are you a big video games guy yourself?
Oh, for sure. Whether it's UFC game for the last amount of times, trying to knock myself out, or any other Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, and anything in between. Definitely going to jump on it more. I think I need to invest in becoming the best fight gamer I can be. So after my fight, or maybe just before, and then I got to decide what I'm going to pack, but it might not make sense to bring my PS4 to Europe, but afterwards, I'm definitely going to be reinvesting some quality time in gaming.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elias. I really appreciate the time. One last thing, when I spoke a question I asked you earlier, how do you see this fight playing out? Are you sticking with the second or third round finish?
Yes, second or third round finish. I think I can really impose my will on Trevor Smith and look for the TKO.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elias. You can catch Elias, of course, as a ring boy for Invicta on Friday, the 4th of May, as well as in the UFC Octagon Sunday, the 27th of May in Liverpool. Elias, again, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck on Friday and on the 27th.
Thank you so much.